So thanks everyone for joining. This is one of the Polaris short workshops that we're holding during these current interesting times. This one is setting up a business Facebook page. It's one that I've presented before. My name is Mark Nemstis. I'm the Digital Business Advisor here at the Polaris Centre. I've met a few of you before and some of the others I haven't met before. So welcome everyone that I haven't met before, and hello again to everyone that I have met before. I work at Polaris Centre 50% of the week, and the rest of the week I have my own business. So what I'm talking to you about today are things that I use in my own business. And I think that I try to provide practical advice as far as possible. If you've got any questions during the session, please put it into the chat box and Mike will let me know that you're asking a question, because I'll be running PowerPoint and I won't see what you're asking. Okay, so let's get started. Right, so setting up a business Facebook page. Why do you want to set one up? And the most obvious reason is that in Australia, the entire adult population is pretty much on Facebook. So, it's a pretty juicy audience that we think we can reach. About a third of the world's population is on Facebook. So, internationally, it can be quite useful. As a platform, Facebook is very sticky, and by sticky, people in the industry mean that people keep coming back to it. It's something that we look at every day. For a lot of us, it's multiple times a day, and that is a very enticing concept to businesses, because it means that you can get your content in front of people and have them looking at it continually. And the stickiness means that the average person spends about 20 minutes a day on Facebook, which is a lot of time. An ancillary reason to be on Facebook is that it can actually help your business become more visible on search engines. And by that, I mean it can actually boost the rankings of your web page and boost the rankings of your Google business listing and various other digital platforms. So before we actually think about how we're going to create a business Facebook page, it's worth understanding. It's worth thinking about. Can you everyone still see the PowerPoint presentation there? Because I've got a weird message just popped up. Oh no, it's disappearing now. Understanding how people use Facebook. So people use Facebook for a number of reasons. These days, it's primarily for entertainment. They also use it to keep in touch with family and friends, to keep abreast of what's going on in their lives. They use it for interests and hobbies. They use it for social advocacy and to connect with like-minded people. And a key way that people do that through Facebook these days is through the use of Facebook groups. So it's worth thinking about, if users are using Facebook for a particular reason, are they in the right frame of mind to be thinking about your business or the products that your business offers? And
we've lost the presentation.
Yeah. Unmuted. You're muted, Mark.
Right, I'm back. Hello. Where was I before the internet took me away to a better place? What was I talking about?
About people using Facebook group and the groups way of accessing updates and things.
All right. So we'll just go back over to PowerPoint over here. So it's worth thinking about whether people...
Do you want to mute us all again?
We can do it ourselves on the bottom left.
Yeah. Do you want us just to do ourselves? Hello, Robin.
All right. It's worth thinking about what people are doing on Facebook when they're likely to be in the right frame of mind to be thinking about your business or your product that you offer, or even whether they're ever going to be in the right frame of mind. So, you know, is this when they're trolling through their news feed, or is it when they're on groups, or is it when they're poking around interest group pages and things like that? Or, as I said, is that never going to happen? Is Facebook not the right place for you to be? And there's this last thing here that you need to think about, is that we as humans have become immune to ads on various platforms, and Facebook more than any other. So we're constantly bombarded with ads on Facebook. So if you are going to think about running ads or using it for commercial purposes, you need to think about how you can make yourself stand out. So if you're going to have a Facebook page, you need to have a reason. And these are, from my point of view, these are the reasons why you would want a Facebook page. The first is to build and sell to an audience. So for us, in our business, this is what we've primarily done. We've built an audience, and while we very rarely ever sell directly to the audience, we sell a lot of stuff to them indirectly. We build interest in our products, and as a consequence, we get a lot of messages and a lot of emails and a lot of website traffic from our social channels that results in sales. For some businesses, the Facebook page might just be to provide a signal that you are real and alive. Okay, the Telstra Small Business Survey from a couple of years ago said that businesses that have active social media channels have about 50% more trust in the marketplace than businesses that don't. Okay, it's a good way of just telling people what's going on in your business. Build an audience to act as a source of referrals to your website. So a classic example of this on Facebook is real estate agents. Okay, they primarily use their Facebook pages to channel traffic to their websites. They also use it to generate leads. And then for other people, it's just purely for communication and to interact in the community. Okay, so if you're going to have a Facebook page, have a goal. And for me, it needs to be one of those goals that you see there in front of you. Do you need a Facebook page if it's dead? And apologies here to Systematic Plumbing. From my point of view, if you've got a Facebook page, it needs to be alive. As I said already, businesses with active social media presences tend to have... Okay, so if you're a business to business, is it still relevant? Absolutely, because it can then be a way of providing a human face of your business to the outside world. So the good example that I have is a local business here in Salisbury called SMS Geotechnical. They do, in their own words, they test dirt. They do compaction testing on dirt. And, you know, no one on Facebook wants really to read about technical details of that, but they use their Facebook page very effectively to provide a human face of their business. They do staff profiles, staff events, customer profiles, interesting, quirky little videos that they do around the workplace. And, you know, they get really good engagement from that. Okay, and I think that they've built a really interesting social media personality for themselves. Whether they've won any work out of it, I don't know. I'd have to ask Mick and to find that out. But I find the way that they're doing it really interesting. Okay, so dead page or no page. So from my point of view, I'd rather have no page than a dead page. If you've got a Facebook page, you need to commit to keeping it active. So when choosing a name for your business Facebook page, use your business name. Don't be tempted to stuff it with keywords. Okay, this is a key piece of branding for yourself. Don't confuse your audience by trying to play silly games in there. You know, if you're Mark's Plumbing, then call yourselves Mark's Plumbing. Don't call yourself Mark's Plumbing, Gas Fitting and Maintenance, thinking that somehow that's going to get more traffic to your Facebook page, because it just won't. Check tag availability across different channels. And by tag availability, I mean the tag name that your Facebook page has. And I'll just show you what that looks like. So this is the Duke of Brunswick's Facebook page here, the Duke of Brunswick being a pub in the city. This is their tag here. So at thedob.sa. So that tag is used by other Facebook users to tag this business in their posts. Now, what I mean by tag consistency, if you're on Instagram, LinkedIn, and all those sorts of things, and ideally you would have the same tag across all those social media platforms, okay? Make the tag short, make it easy, don't make it really long. If it's really long, it's hard to use, and then people will find it hard to tag you and share content with you and share your content to others, okay?
Excuse me, Mark.
Yes.
I'm sorry, there was a lag time before this page came up for me. Where are you referring to around the tag availability on that page?
Just hang on a second. So this is the Duke of Brunswick, and can you see my mouse doing loop-the-loops here?
Sorry, the page is gone, but it should come up. It just says that you've started screen sharing, but there seems to be a lag time with when it actually comes up.
Yep.
I'll let you know when it comes up. Oh, there we go.
Right, so can you see the Duke of Brunswick's
okay.
The Duke of Brunswick's business name on the left-hand side here, just below their logo. Just below that, you can see an @ symbol, at the Dob SA. Okay, that's their page tag.
Yeah.
So that's the tag that you use to tag them if you're posting up content on your Facebook page or your business page or your group. Okay, and you need to have that tag consistent across all social media platforms. So that's just covered on the rest of that slide, that idea of consistency. So when you're creating a Facebook page, I'll show you how to do that shortly. You need to choose a category for your page. So that's a business category, and there's a limited number of categories that you can pick from. You need to choose the right business name and use the same address and phone number on the Facebook page that you've used on your website, your Google business listing, your Instagram, whatever other online platforms you happen to be listed on. You need to create a profile image and create a cover image. So that's the first 3 steps there that we need to take. Once we've taken those 3 steps, well, here's some more information. We'll actually go ahead and create a page really quickly. So can someone just let me know if the Facebook page hasn't shown up? So where possible,
not yet, but it's on its way.
Where possible, do this from a desktop computer. Don't do it from your phone. Okay, it'll be a much better experience if you do it from a desktop computer. Is that screen up yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
So we're just clicking on the arrow up the top right here. And we've got a drop-down menu. And there's an item there called Manage Pages. And this gives us a list of all of the pages. And there's a button here called Create a Page. Click on that. And then this takes us into Facebook's page creation tool. We're going to create a business or brand. So I've just given the page a name, and this is where we get to pick from our categories. We'll just pick a retail Oh, there we go. Shopping and retail. So this is where we need to make sure that we get our address correct, because other digital platforms like Google will actually look at the phone number and address on your Facebook page. And if they are consistent with your web page and your Google business listing and your Instagram and things like that, then that is a signal that this Facebook page belongs to the same business. Okay, if you use a different business name and a slightly different address and a slightly different phone number across all your digital platforms, then that opportunity for Google to build up the weight of your digital presence is lost. Okay, so it's important to be consistent. Then if we just wait, sorry, my internet connection is as bad as yours. So we're now up to the point where we are able to create a profile picture. And it's fairly easy to create. Yes, Evelyn, you can actually hide your address on Facebook. You don't have to display your address. So I just sort of glossed over that then when I put the address in there. You'll still need to put a physical address, but there's a little checkbox where you can actually hide the address. Okay. I'm not sure if there's a postal address field later on that you can fill in. Perhaps I can look into that and get back to you, Evelyn. Right, so creating a profile picture. The profile picture is when we were looking at the Duke of Brunswick's page above the Duke of Brunswick's business name, there was a little logo, a little circular logo. That's the profile picture. So that picture appears next to every post and comment that you make on your business page. Okay, so that's a good opportunity to get some branding in there. There's the dimensions there. That's the ideal size, 360 by 360, 180 by 180. It's a circle. So don't go putting things, you know, obviously images are square. Don't go putting things in the corners because it won't be shown. Think about colors, like having your color in that little profile picture. Obviously it's pretty tiny, so people aren't going to be able to read any text or anything there. So just think about how you can use that effectively. And there's a couple of tips there. Try to just use a logo or, you know, part of your logo, or perhaps a recognizable product that you sell. Cover images. There's the dimensions there of what the cover images are. The cover images are the image that appears at the top of your Facebook page, that sort of panoramic image there. You don't need to remember these numbers. At the end here, we've got this tool called Canva. And perhaps at the end of the presentation, I'll just show you quickly in Canva how you can create these images fairly easily. In Canva, you can actually just create a new Facebook cover image and it'll automatically size it to the right sizes for you. You can have a still image as your Facebook cover image, you can have a slideshow, or you can have a video. For most businesses, a still image is going to be the easiest thing to do. If you are using a still image, you need to be aware that depending on what device users are using to access Facebook, they'll see different parts of the cover image. And this is a graphic that I cheerfully stole from snapper.com that actually shows you that there's a safe zone in the middle of the image that is shown across all devices. Now, why do you care that it's a safe zone? Well, obviously because you can put text on the cover image, and you know, if you've got your phone number or a call to action or something there, then it's not much good to you if it's chopped off on the right hand side on mobile phones or on the Facebook app on your tablet or whatever. Okay, so you just need to be aware of that. So once we've uploaded a profile image and a cover image, we can then go through and flesh out the listing. Now, this only takes about sort of 45 minutes to actually set the whole listing up. It's not very hard. Create a description, opening hours, different features of the business, whether you're in another building, whether you've got parking, whether you've got disabled access and that sort of thing. You can choose, there's a whole range of different templates that are available, and templates are basically the different buttons and content tabs that are available on the Facebook page. And I'll show you what content tabs and the buttons are in a minute. You can set up messaging, so you can actually enable messaging or disable it, but then you can also set up automatic responses. You can create and assign roles for your team members. And it's important to realise here that a Facebook business page is a separate entity to your personal Facebook page. And to the point where you can create a business Facebook page, assign another Facebook page, Facebook user as the administrator of that page, and then remove yourself from the Facebook page so you can then no longer control it. So it's a separate thing that can be controlled by different people. And by roles here, assigning roles, the Duke of Brunswick's a good example of this. Simone Douglas actually assigns to her staff daily posting rights, so that, you know, they might have a staff member that makes daily updates about what that person's doing during the day, and then she'll remove those rights at the end of the day. Okay, and then you can actually add a call to action button on the page, and I'll show you what that is right now. So we'll just head back to Simone Douglas's page because it's such a good one. So the first thing to note here is you can see that Simone, if you look at her cover image, you can see that she's kept to that safe area. The URL of the Duke of Brunswick and the email address are in that little safe zone that I talked about. Okay, Simone knows all of this stuff. She's very good at this stuff. She's much better than I am at it. The next thing to look at is that she's got, just below and to the right of the cover image, she's got a call now button. So that's her call to action button. There's a number of different call to action buttons that you can have. And if you actually play around with the settings, the business page settings, you can actually get two buttons up there. You can get the call to action button, and then you can also get the send message button. And I can't really think of a reason why you wouldn't want both buttons there, because it gives people two opportunities to contact you. So it is worth playing around with the settings and getting that send message button up there along with the call to action button. Right. So if you're wondering where all of the data is, the description and parking and things like that, they appear down here on the left-hand side. These are the content tabs. Okay, so at the moment, the Duke of Brunswick has reviews set to their top content tab, and then posts, and then events. Now, the default setup of content tabs is dependent on what business page template you choose when you're setting up your business page. And the order is also dependent on what template you choose. I'm a great believer that the two top content tabs should always be reviews and posts. And that's for two reasons. One is that reviews are about the most important thing that you can have online at the moment. People go straight online to check out businesses these days. They don't ask their friends or their mothers or their kids. They go straight to their Facebook page and they look at the reviews. So when we land on the Duke of Brunswick's Facebook page here, the first thing we see is the reviews. Okay, and they're awesome. So no wonder Simone has this as her top content tab. The next content tab is going to be the posts. And from my point of view, it's pretty obvious why posts should be next. It's because posts are the things that change the most. Okay, these are the things that people come and look at. This is the thing that changes and keeps your audience interested and keeps them engaged. So put the posts up the top. so that people that are coming to look at the page actually see what's going on and what's new. You can reorder those tabs from inside the business page settings. Okay, it's really easy. You just drag them around and you change the order of them really easily. And it can just help make your page a bit more engaging and a bit more effective. If you can't work out how to do that, I do invite you to just give me a call one day and I'll talk you through it on the phone. It is really easy. So you're actually done creating a Facebook business page at this point. We've given it a name, we've given it a tag, we've fleshed out all the description and the opening hours and things like that, and uploaded a cover image and a profile image. You're actually done. There's actually nothing else to do except use the page and get people to look at it and keep them entertained, and and that for me is actually the hard part. So we'll just run through in the second part of this presentation. We're just going to run through how to actually use the page effectively. And 15 minutes doesn't really do it justice, but it'll get you off on the right foot, what we're going to run through now. So one of the first things you need to think about is when to post. And there's a number of reasons to think about that. You need to think about when your audience is online. You need to think about when they're online and thinking about your products. Okay. And you need to think about how often you need to post. So when is your audience online? When you are running a restaurant and you have a special lunch deal happening and your audience is primarily office workers, then I would totally be posting online between 11 and 12 on weekdays, simply because that's when those people are on social media, even though they're at work and they shouldn't be. That's when they're on social media looking, okay? And you want your post there at 11:30 when there are eyes on Facebook, because Facebook's algorithm is such that people tend to see more recent posts when they're looking at their newsfeed. Additionally, those people are now engaged. They're thinking about lunch, okay? For our business, we tend to post mostly in the evenings because we're a consumer product and people are thinking about their hobbies and their interests mostly when they're sitting on the couch ignoring their family or ignoring their wives or whatever, okay? So they're sitting there scrolling through their phone, indulging themselves, and that tends to be when we post. Polaris tends to post during office hours, which makes sense because people are thinking about work during office hours. Okay, so you need to think about the time of the day and the day of the week, and then you need to think about when people are actually thinking about the products that you are selling. So how often do you post? The consensus is 3 to 10 times per week, and less often for smaller audiences. And for us, we post, like at Polaris, we post about 4 to 5 times a week. In my own business, we post anywhere between 5 and 15 times a week. Some days you'll get great engagement from your audience and you'll just post and post and post because you're getting great feedback. And then other days it just doesn't work. But for us, it's between 5 and 15 times a week. You need to think about a posting calendar or schedule, and this can be quite formal, and I'll just show you what mine looks like in a minute. And you need to think about checking your insights each week to figure out what's working and what's not working. So insights are available from inside your Facebook page, okay? And the insights give you an idea of, well, they give you like tons of information, but for me, these are the key things that I look at. And this is a graph of when your fans are online. So as you build up a posting history, Facebook will actually keep track of when your fans are looking at your posts, when they're on Facebook and things like that. So across the top here these are when our fans are online each day of the week. And this graph down the bottom here is when they're online during the day. There's a bit of a gotcha here. The graph is in American Pacific time. So you need to subtract 6.5 hours from it to get the right time in Australia, in Adelaide. If you can't work out how much time to subtract, just go to Google and type in what time is it in Los Angeles and subtract that hour difference from the graph, and you can work out when people are actually online. So for my business, it's between 6 and 9 at night. That's when everyone's online. Sundays is the biggest day. Okay. Then you can actually look at how your posts are performing. So this is giving us an idea of what the reach is. So reach is how many Facebook users have laid eyes on your post. Okay. Now, typically, if you've got an audience of, if you've got 1,000 followers on your page and you make a post, somewhere between 100 and 250 people will see it. So 10 to 25% of your audience will see your post. Okay. So for us, at this point, we had about 4,000 followers, and, you know, we get anywhere between sort of 1,000 and 2,000, 2,500. The next key statistic to understand here is engagement. Engagement is people that have commented on or reacted to or shared your post. Okay. Facebook's algorithm is such that the more you can get people to engage with your post, so that's comment, share, or react to your post, the more they will see your posts. Okay, so that's how you can get that sort of 10% of your audience up to 20% as you concentrate on making really good, engaging content. And what that is varies from business to business. For us, it tends to be sort of informational or educational type posts do really well for us. And then every now and again, humour does really well for us as well. I burnt a toasted cheese sandwich at work a few weeks ago, and I posted up a picture of it, and it got sort of fantastic engagement. Like, I couldn't believe it, but it was really funny. So, you know, if you can get some humour, then that's a good thing to do. This is a graph that a lot of Facebook marketers don't necessarily want you to see, especially those that purport to be able to build a huge audience for you fairly quickly. A year ago, I actually saw a business, and they'd spent $2,000 on a one-day workshop to get to 5,000 followers. And it sort of stood out to me because you very rarely see businesses in Adelaide with a large number of followers like that. And I asked them how they did it, and they told me. And then when we went and looked at this graph, it turned out that all their followers were in India and Pakistan. And, you know, she was a life coach and remedial massage therapist, and, you know, she's probably not going to get a whole lot of customers from India and Pakistan coming to Adelaide for a massage. So, you know, useless. For us, we market all of our products at people in Australia, and we've concentrated on getting followers in Australia. And at, you know, this point, this is a year ago, we had, you know, of our fans, you know, 95%, northward of 95% of them were in Australia. So if you're going to build an audience in Facebook, think about where the customers are that you want to interact with and build the audience in that geographic location. So what do you post? In the moment, spontaneous content performs better than highly curated content. So what does that mean? It means that you're better off having a quick and dirty video of a new product launch or a new service offering, or, you know, a nice testimonial from someone, than getting in the media people and spending $10,000 on an expensive video that you know, people aren't going to watch. That sort of humorous stuff, that more human stuff, the spontaneous, you know, even sometimes it's a bit, you know, it's a bit amateurish, but it does really well on Facebook. And, you know, the reason for that is that because people are on Facebook to be entertained. They're on Facebook to, you know, relate to other people, to be motivated and to be moved. And, you know, if you're willing to be human, then that can work well on Facebook. Okay. I was kind of resistant to doing videos for a long time, but I have started doing them now, and they do really well because people like, I guess, just seeing someone talk rather than just text or images and things like that. And, you know, for us that it works, we get people coming into our shop and they look at me and go, hey, you're the guy off of the videos. So, you know, people watch these things. So think about a story that you can tell about yourself, your business, your staff, your suppliers, or your customers. So, you know, I talked about SMS Geotechnical. They talk about barbecues, they do staff profiles, they do staff backgrounds, they do customer profiles, they do some really cool time-lapse videos when they're out on building sites and things like that. None of it is trying to win any work, but it just tells a story of who they are. Videos tend to do better than pictures, pictures tend to do better than text, and your own text will tend to do better than shared content. Most businesses lapse into sharing other people's content all the time. And, you know, my analytics over the last year have shown that shared content on our Facebook pages tends to do about 30% worse in terms of reach and engagement compared with content that we create ourselves. But shared content's easy because you just sort of search around and steal other people's stuff and post it up. You know, I don't think it works. So the 90-10 rule, 9 posts that aren't trying to sell something versus 1 post that is. If all you're doing is using Facebook to try and sell workshop places or sell products or get bookings or whatever they are, then people will disengage from your content. And just remember what I talked about, that engagement double whammy, is that the less engaging your content is, the less people will see it. Okay, so if all you're doing is trying to sell stuff all the time, number one, the algorithm will stop showing your post to your audience. Number two, if people do see it, they go, oh, here's this lot again trying to sell us stuff, and they'll unfollow your page. So we've talked about some of this already. You need to make sure that you're actually talking to someone. So it's not enough to build a Facebook page, a business Facebook page, and start posting. Generally, that won't bring people in. So I've seen, you know, maybe 400 businesses in the last year and a half, and the vast majority of them have got somewhere between 100 and 300 followers on their Facebook pages. And when I say to them, so that's all your friends and family, isn't it? Almost always the answer is yes. So if you're going to build a Facebook page, you need to think about putting strategies in place to build an audience for that page, okay? And then you'll actually see this organic reach and engagement grow because of that. If all you're doing is posting to 150 followers and they're all your friends and family, it's never going to get any bigger in any reasonable amount of time. So what's some tactics for building an audience? There's a whole bunch of them there. The first one everyone does, they invite their friends and family. They talk about their new business and their new Facebook page, and they tell their mums and their husbands and their brothers and their sisters and their friends, and everyone comes and follows it, and it's happy days. I said that's the first thing that most people do, and it's the only thing that most people do. Reach out to your existing customer base, get them to follow you on socials. Tell people about your socials on your website. Reach out to your mailing list.
Mark, I don't think we have the page.
Okay, it'll come.
Oh, it started. It says you've started screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Got it? So just remember, I'll send out the PDF. All this information's in the PDF. It's the same stuff. Website, mailing list, allow employees to share your page and posts. I'll go back to the Duke of Brunswick here. All their employees are sort of, you know, late teens, 20-somethings. They've all got 1 million friends on Facebook and Instagram. You know, you have people like that sharing their own content. They post it to their own news feeds. They post it to their own channels. All their friends and family are following it, and it's a great way of building up an audience, you know, from your staff, from the efforts of your staff. So you need to empower people to post, to do that. So, you know, if you're going to take a strong corporate approach to your Facebook page and everything has to be run through editorial, and, you know, there's a huge lag between the content being developed and it being posted, then that's just not going to work. Okay, so you need to take a different approach if you want that approach to work. You need to respond to comments and reviews. So, you know, it's social media. So talk to people. Try and post up things that generate content. Ask them questions. Ask them for feedback. if you can get people engaged that way, then the idea is that, you know, if I comment on a Facebook post of your business, then my friends may well see that comment on their page and they go, oh, that business looks interesting. And they'll go over and follow your page. Okay. So post content that prompts engagement. And then if people do engage with your posts, you can invite them to like your page. And there's ways of doing that within Facebook. And we pick up, you know, 10 or 20 followers a week doing that. So, you know, we post up stuff, we ask for pictures, and then we go and invite everyone who's liked the post that don't already follow our page. So getting page likes or follows, funny content, live videos. You know, we had, I don't know what the numbers were, but we got almost 3,000 reach from my toasted cheese sandwich. Okay. Live videos. So live videos are a good one because live videos are shown to all of your page followers, not 10 or 20%, but all of them. So you could conduct a weekly live video at 4 p.m. and actually hype that up in the preceding week. Collaborate with suppliers, customers, cooperative businesses, and dare I say, influencers. So this is a way of getting your page exposure on other people's pages. And when you're getting started, this can be super powerful. So then there's actually paid advertising. So you can run Facebook page like ads, and this can be quite effective if you're in the right industry space, and it can be reasonably cost effective. And then when you've got enough followers, you can actually start running competitions. So for us, competitions is bank for buck. Was the best way of building up the following to our page.
Yeah.
Okay. And like, it seems odd paying for followers, but if you are going to be selling to those followers, then there is a reason to do it. All right. So that's it. We've run 6 minutes over time. We'll stop the share. I can see who has liked my page. How can I see who has followed as this number is greater than the likes? So you can't, because you can follow a page without liking the page. Whoever said that? Evelyn. Yeah, no, you can't. Good question. I was asked that one a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, no, you can't.
Yeah, because I've with some of them, I've invited them to like, because they've obviously commented or you know, reacted to some of the posts that I've put on my page. So you invite them along, but then because the number of followers increases, I don't know if they've, you know, liked or followed or
yeah. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, but yeah, unfortunately you can't. So
no, that's fair enough.
Yeah. Has anyone else got any other questions? No? Mike?
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for persisting with the session. I think we had a bit of trouble with the audio as well. So participants, thank you very much for your participation and patience. Must be the Polaris internet, I think, at Mawson Lakes.
I came in here especially to use the internet here because my internet at home is so terrible. But you know, I should have stayed at home.
So as Mark said, he'll be sending out the PowerPoints and a couple of screenshots as well. Again, just a reminder, Polaris is here to help you at this time. So we're working hard to support you. So don't hesitate to ring in our general number. That's on our Facebook page as well. I see we need a second button, Mark, on our Facebook page. So I have to tackle that myself. So we're learning a lot from Mark as well, and we're on this journey with you. So need to help each other at this time.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Mark.
Likewise.